It's going up very quickly and could reach as much as $1,650 to $2,900 by the end of 2024. Get 2024 over with. Get ready for a big break in your money. They're not just crazy claims. They're based on a big event. An XRP ETF went public. Think about this: BlackRock, a big financial business that made a Bitcoin ETF that did very well, is now using its great track record to make an XRP ETF. There's more though. BlackRock isn't the only one making waves with their move into XRP. Almost every ETF plan they've put forward has been accepted. More has been added to the game. Grayscale has not only mentioned an XRP ETF, but they have also added XRP to their list of cryptocurrencies. XRP and Ripple Labs are becoming more important in the world of international business. You're back at the place where you can learn everything about XRP. Let's quickly catch up before we get to the meat of today's post. Could you please do me a small favor? Press the like button, sign up, and click the bell button to join our great group. Also, I want you to know that entering the giveaway is really simple. Do these 3 simple things, so make sure you're ready and tuned in. Now is the time to leave a help coin code in the comments if you want to be in the lucky draw. Today, let's see what's new in the exciting world of XRP. A closer look at the numbers shows that BlackRock has a great track record when it comes to giving the go-ahead. When BlackRock starts to deal with cryptocurrencies and Web3, it changes the way standard finance thinks about digital currencies in a big way. BlackRock is the best at managing assets in the world. They have almost a perfect record of accepting ETFs, which shows how well they understand the stock market. Don't forget that BlackRock has an amazing 99.8% approval rate for ETFs, which makes them the strongest ETF company in the world. It's important to see the big picture. XRP has not only been looked at by big banks like JP Morgan and BlackRock, but they have also been buying it. Reports including a paper that got out say that these big companies have put more than putting 5% of their entire wealth into XRP. A well-researched story from not long ago even said that BlackRock might be shifting all of its attention from Bitcoin to XRP. This would mean a big change in how they spend their money. This shows that more people are interested in XRP, which makes the idea of a BlackRock-launched XRP ETF more possible than ever. Things get even more interesting now though. There is a new person in the X. The fact that there is an XRP ETP, one important step toward an ETF, is this ETP, but no one knows who made it. The XRP ETP is said to have been released, but it is still in the pre-league process and has no value yet. It will be shown off soon though. There's more. There are talks going on about the idea of starting an XRP ETP at the same time as the ETP. Putting out this release at the same time makes sense and shows how quickly work is going on the ETP. It might come out a few weeks after a Bitcoin ETF. This is a big deal because Bitcoin went from $0 to $43,000 before its ETF started. XRP has a lot of promise. When XRP's ETF comes out, its value could skyrocket to $1,650 or even $2,500. Since the XRP ETP has already gone live, this isn't as crazy as it sounds. In a few weeks there will be an XRP ETF. Many people don't know this, but Fidelity, a huge name in the business world, has made the purchase something in exchange for XRP. This means that the launch of an XRP ETF is coming up quickly. The US Securities and Exchange Commission is likely to give its okay soon. Last night we even talked about a new article that came out yesterday. The news came from a BlackRock report that said an XRP ETF might be coming soon. This story showed that XRP was going to be filed for as an ETF. It got even more exciting when a top BlackRock expert said in public that a BlackRock ETF will be launched that is only for XRP. In an ATF report, they even talked about the iShares XRP Trust. At first I wasn't sure, but I looked it up and sure enough it's on the Delaware list of websites for businesses. There has been a big change in the market for XRP recently, maybe even bigger than the changes we saw with Bitcoin's ETF. This new development changes everything. A new study makes it clear that the crypto world is changing in a big way. Big companies are getting into cryptocurrency as seen by the fact that BlackRock and JP Morgan have each bought more than 7.5 million XRP. Check it out. It's possible for $180 to $1.3 quadrillion to move through the XRP ledger, with the ISA being the main driver. This is because XRP is setting itself up to become a big player in global debt trades. This is in addition to the BRICS countries. They are all adding the XRP ledger to their computers. The Republic of Palau is also using the XRP system to create its own digital currency for its central bank. This is a classic case of high demand and low supply. It makes sense that each XRP coin would become very valuable. A lot of people are talking about this topic these days. Some people think my joy about XRP is just a dream. They might be right, but I want to say this: I really want to take this opium. Took a deep breath. I rolled it into a big ball and lit it on fire. That's very powerful writing. I have faith and hope. When things are bad and you're barely hanging on, hope keeps you going. It's okay if you don't believe in hope. Feel like it's all just a wish. That doesn't bother me in any way. I tell myself help each other out. We're not about throwing pieces into a void, so anything less feels like that. We're here to keep things quiet, but let's talk about good things. I loved how interesting the talks were and how hard everyone's views were. It made my mind work really hard. Someone made a good point about businesses and XRP. Businesses don't have to buy XRP. They could also rent it. That's a thought that's worth thinking about, right? What would happen if regular people were the only ones who bought XRP? I learned more about this and even asked ChatGPT, how many transfers happen on the SWIFT system every day? It was more than $7 trillion, which was crazy. Keep in mind that this only includes trade between countries. It does not include the swaps market, which is worth quadrillions of dollars in smart contracts. Coins that can't be changed by NFTs or tokenized assets are things like real estate. What? Now think about how all of these things could be done with XRP. SWIFT works in international trade. So let's talk about that. Cut that $7 trillion in half. How do you think things would go if XRP with its 1,700 links? Yes, Ripple and XRP have really raised the bar here. Every day they had to deal with only $3 trillion. If that happened, the system would have to hold $3 trillion for that day. If this were to happen, XRP might be worth more than $1.50 per share. That's for sure. XRP has a large network, so it makes sense to think that some of these links will invest in it. Remember what we talked about before. Once the system is up and running, prices could go through the roof, even if institutions choose to rent instead of buy. This is especially true if XRP handles even half of this market. If all bank payments are included, it will be well over $1 per token. Take a moment to think about this and maybe grab a drink to calm down. Just think about what the idea of this opium could mean. The world we live in is wonderful and full of wonderful chances. Don't forget that I'm not a licensed financial advisor. People only watch these movies to have fun with the facts they show. Any choices about money? People always think I tell them to study on their own and talk to experts. Thanks for hearing. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the follow button. Also make sure the alerts are turned on so you know right away when I add something new to the next movie. I'm excited